just entered.
Oh my goodness! I didn't even know.
My Lord!
You know what? James. I appreciate you helping me with the mod. I genuinely do, because sometimes I don't look at the chat. I don't look at the people who have their hands up. I didn't know Andrew had his hand up. Welcome, Andrew. You have 1 to 2 minutes. Go.
Assalamu alaikum, Shabbat Shalom, morning, grand rising, Ram. I think there's a couple other greetings.
Shabbat Shalom to you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I do want to quickly say, well, Shabbat for me is every day, John, but I just wanted to say quickly a few things, if we can get them out of the way. Blessed are the peacemakers, John. JJ and I have a rift, apparently. He's referred to me as, quote, scum, unquote.
Wow.
So maybe we could get that resolved. That'd be great. And I think I'm going to point out inconsistency on his behalf. I think that would be good. Now, secondly, just quickly before I forget, John, I went to war with Agamemnon over you putting out the idea that you are going to stop taking your meds. Apparently you have stopped.
It's been almost a month now.
Andrew, wait a minute. Yeah. Andrew, this room is about John's ministry to the homeless. It's not about John and whatever his personal
to be honest,
or personal beefs with people in the community.
Well, real quickly, this room's not going to be about John at all, because I have John's house for that. So we can talk about.
That's right.
So which I actually opened up this morning, and no one showed up but one stranger. But I had to, so I don't even.
But you did say I could have an opening though, right? So
yes, sir.
Okay, so and I don't mind if you don't want to delve into any of the topics. I just wanted to throw them out there. Maybe we can.
I do quickly.
Okay,
so I did want to say, JJ, he seems to have a grievance. I don't give names, and he's the room's attention, and specifically you, and so hopefully, JJ, in an effort of some sort of reconciliation in terms of some peace and some community even.
There's only one thing that can reconcile this, John, and that's if Andrew gets his heart right with Christ and stop with the mere lip service.
Okay. So what I would need to know is what precisely are you pointing out caused you to quote say that quote I am the scum of the earth.
Well, hang on. We don't have time. Yes. In fact, I'm going to close it out in seconds. But
you're closing.
Yes, right now, 2 hours, very strict 2 hours, by the way, Andrew. And so that's why I only gave you a minute. No, sir. I'm only devoting exactly 10 hours a week.
Okay.
You're more than welcome to come early tomorrow, 2 hours prior, 8 a.m. Pacific. But anyway, JJ, what I did notice, may I finish?
I think he needs to read the Bible on Clubhouse instead of talking.
I'm sorry. I like you, AI, but I mean, listen, sir, I'm trying to close it out. Now, JJ, the deal is that you made some sort of conditions about a being, okay? In other words, that's his being presently, right? And so there's the be attitudes, not the do attitudes, right? You can't just tell the person who's poor in spirit to just simply do better spirit or something, right? That's what you're requesting. I think it's unreasonable. But in any case, that's my point for today. We can continue it. But that's where I wanted to stop. But anyways, I'm going to pray it out, JJ. This praying out.
That's too bad.
Which is your suggestion, by the way.
I know.
I really do appreciate it. You do know
it was my advice.
Absolutely, it was. I did add a little bit to it. When I start the room, I also do that as well. And so
as you should.
And so I have done that ever since you mentioned it, and it added the beginning as well, JJ. So this is great that you're here to let you know that the suggestion it was a good one and kept, and thank God for that. But
before you do that, one second, just one last thing.
No, I'm sorry, JJ. In fact, I'm just gonna ensure it.
I just want to say I worry about you, John.
Nothing personal. I knew you were going to speak up, JJ. But in any case, Heavenly Father, I just thank you for what you're doing every single day of the lives of those who believe and who do not. That although we do not even see you working, that you are working in our lives, that you have your hand upon the people here. I just pray for blessings. I pray for peace. I pray for love, because you commanded us to love even our enemies. And I just pray, Lord, that you give us your heart and your will, that we may, with gratitude, just seek to be in obedience, seek to love as you commanded us to love, and to be that which you want us to be. And that your will may be done, that we may humbly come to you before you, and to seek the betterment of other people without the expectation of others being better to us. So I pray this in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. So in any case, thank you for coming out. I will be here tomorrow as well. And thank you. Good to see you, Andrew. Good to see you, JJ, as well. I hope to see you more in the future. We'll talk about this if we can. Everyone have a blessed day.
God bless you, John.
That black people have about what went wrong, how to move forward. Here comes somebody saying it's the white man's fault, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that we can't attribute a lot of our modern day struggles to what happened in yesteryear, civil rights and before, but Sue's right. There's always that one person who's like, we can't do this, we can't make progress because of what happened 400 years ago.
It was the black man and the black woman.
Let's talk about what's going on today. We ain't gotta go back 400 years. We can talk about how black people are being pushed out of housing by immigrants here in Minnesota and across the nation. We can talk about how jobs for black people are being taken back. Go ahead, neighborhood.
God damn, nobody can talk to me around.
But that's our fault too, doctor. Because black people said let the immigrants in.
Yep, they're fighting
our immigrants pushing black people out of housing.
You guys have to start with policy.
That's just not true.
It's just not true.
Yes, it is.
I can give my testimony.
I'm trying to answer the man.
When a man talks, could you please mute your mic?
This is a problem.
Hold on. Are they married? Are they?
Y'all didn't let what's
Do you see them doing that with you
grieve a little bit.
When you are
Everybody
and
just jump
deal
right
with
back
them
in.
everyday life?
Yo, they gave y'all the answer. I've been listening for hours, just sitting back. But they gave y'all the answer. I ain't even get my submission yet. Y'all ain't let that shit breathe.
Even let that shit breathe.
But they can't have dead air and let breathe. They got to keep the conversation going.
Well, Brother can he?
Un can go in, but they gave y'all the answer. I just don't want it off. Good.
Right, but people. So I don't know who it was who just the most recent question.
That was Officer Finley.
Okay, it's the policies. I'm gonna leave that right there. Now,
Why do you call Officer Finley?
I got you. I don't want to argument.
Shit. You
Stop. Let's not argue, man. Let's have a serious substantive conversation. That's what this room, this house of pride is. Okay, let's have a conversation. So, how they attacked us is how they've always attacked us and how they always will. Right? So whatever solution y'all come off for Michael, you have to counter eminent domain. You have to. We've lost one of the main reasons why we lost 19 million acres of land since the Southern Homestead Act of 1866. They either corporations or the government, local government, use eminent domain. That's both facts. You see what I'm saying? So whatever solution there are solutions to counter eminent domain, which gives us eminent domain power and protections, would be getting our own jurisdiction, which would be unincorporated land under home rule, right? And before anybody sit there and say, well, that's not a viable solution, blah, blah, blah. Right, the white side of town in Louisiana 2 years ago did the very thing that I'm talking about. 14,000 white people outvoted 600,000 and voted to unincorporate the land, and then they incorporated the land. They took over all, they now control the politics and the economics legislatively. And this is not just some shit I'm just talking about, this is some shit I'm actually doing. So when people, I forgot who the sister who just spoke, people who do try to come with a solution usually get countered with people who don't have a solution.
That. Is that my good friend Shay? My brother. My brother. It's my brother.
Also, I think
brother.
There could be multiple solutions to this. There's not just one solution, but you know, in terms of destroy the black family, that shit is myopic and that shit isn't factually true. Even when somebody is like, okay, how are we destroyed? They making shit up, false stats and everything. Now, do we have some achievements to work on? Absolutely.
Welcome, Shake. Oh, he left us. It's too late.
No one addressed it.
Absolutely no, my father. And matter of fact, most black children, and I already posted that, even in current day, the majority of black kids are not raised by fathers. And further than that, there are not any really good stats on cohabitation. Y'all motherfuckers using this marriage stat to suggest we follow the fatherlessness scenario, but the shit is just not true.
This is not true.
You all be cohabitating?
That's a real issue, the birth rates.
You all be cohabitate.
Well, the birth rate.
So,
the birth.
I get what you're saying, Black. I do. Actually, I do get what you're saying. It's not. We don't measure the co-parenting. You're right. Is that a broken family? Because more than likely that co-parenting, they in two separate households.
Right.
So that's a split of so that's a break in the family. But I get you, family is still together. That black man is still taking care of his black kids.
So what I said was cohabitation. You said co-parenting. I said cohabitation. I said two parents living together, but it still counts as a single mother. That is my whole point to you.
Actually, the new data they don't count that as single mother anymore.
Well, I'm with you with that too. I ain't mad at that.
They've adjusted the data on that. They don't count that as single parenting anymore. But I wanted to back to my other point. Someone said that immigrants have pushed us out of housing, and I'm saying that is not true. In fact, home ownership amongst us risen in the last 10 to 15 years.
But on the lower,
we're talking about public housing, sir.
Yeah,
we're talking about public housing.
They've not pushed blacks out of public housing either.
You're in the matrix.
You're in the matrix. Doctor, are you there?
Well, a quarter of the population is immigrants today. When I forgot the fucking year, I think he said 1865. It was just black and white. 95%, 98%, I believe. But now it's 74% black and white and 25% immigrant. So they did cause a problem.
They don't want to share.
Immigrants not push us out of housing, public housing.
Bro, they pushed us out of everything overall by becoming 25% of the fucking population. You can't say they didn't squeeze out. They did, bro.
Immigrants are not 25% of the
population. In Los Angeles, I'll give you a stat right here. In Los Angeles, the black community was at 30 to 35% range. Now we're at 8%, but we missed a half of the populace that's homeless on Skid Row. The Hispanic community is a larger base, but they were able to be able to get down payment assistance, housing assistance, and the people that are running in city like says, they're giving them policies where they can be able to the same housing benefits and get top prioritization in those districts and zones where they're funded, while black areas internally are underfunded, overtaxed, displaced. And you have a population that they're allowing to come in, be able to take over those houses based on the vouchers of the HUD, Section 8, and many of different programs that they allow for the undocumented here in Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles is a small case study, but there are aspects of when you have a large Hispanic population that have access to the managers as scenarios, the contracting officers, they will discriminate on black people.
And you just name one city.
Miami, Florida. We can mention Miami, Florida. We can mention Tampa.
Can I add?
States.
You name.
Hold on. It's not one city.
This is my point of contention.
You're stopping the conversation at one city. It's not one city.
Let me respond though. If I can get a complete thought, you can understand what I'm saying. You name. I'm not trolling.
No,
I'm not trolling. I'm
it's
absolutely not
not
trolling.
one city.
So I don't troll. So
I gave you my location.
You understand what I'm saying? Your next city out of me.
No, you can't get your
Number
thought out
two.
because he gave an example, and now you can't beat down his fucking example that he gave. He gave you an example. No, you can't. He gave you a simple example. You can't beat down his example.
I can't beat down his example.
You're gonna say he gave you one city? Yes, he gave you one city because that was his example.
And my response to that, it's short. It's a short-sighted example. Number one, it's one city out of many. Number one. Number two, public housing. Number two, public housing is mostly a federal program, right? Number three, most states are red, and they're not doing what he's saying that they're doing.
I said a population.
Right, and so
I said a population of Hispanic communities. Hispanics are contracting managers.
Before we go,
and you're making the assumption that all these people are illegal, right?
No, we said immigrants. He said we started with.
Well, somebody.
This is why I'm trying to.
Also, someone incorrectly said that.
I'm trying to say right. I'm trying to say.
I don't need to be safe.
You're about to make yourself look bad, man.
I'm not gonna make myself look bad. I'm capable of formulating my own arguments. I'm capable of defending my own thought. Right, respectfully. Right. Someone incorrectly said 25% of the American population. That's just not true. Someone also said that blacks have been pushed out of housing. Right. Then they said it's not housing. It's public housing. We're not even in the majority population. We're not pushed out of housing because our homeownership rates have risen in the past 50 years. In the last 15 years. We're not being pushed out of public housing either because we're not the majority of the population in public housing.
Hello?
Right? Affordable housing that we're talking about. The data, we're not being pushed out of affordable housing.
Ain't nothing happening. You guys are just all lies.
But this is a cluster fund.
Have you been drinking?
When you put minorities in the same neighborhoods as black folks that's still in the same competition for that same affordable housing. So then it goes down to there's not enough housing, period, right? And then on top of that, it's the market forces, and it's not saying there's
what is he talking about?
Actually stating that they're replacing one group or the other, but we can't just say, there's enough housing. No, because in some of these neighborhoods, it's a clusterfuck, and there's black people are competing with Mexicans and Somalians.
It's a cluster.
Historically, black areas is now Hispanic. How can you not see that? Did we be even around?
Here in Minnesota, Southside used to be black, a whole black neighborhood.
Not no more.
Over north.
Bye.
It's just the housing costs. And they over north too. It's just.
And the housing cost is done when you have a population boom. How we don't understand, we have a surge of population boom. Housing is the first to be able to get zapped because now
why is there a housing shortage in America?
Southside is
because of one, Let me answer that. Let me answer that. Because of stringent zoning policies, when you have cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, New York City, Boston, and areas that have centralized, tough permitting laws, you can't bring in the supply to lower the price. Then you also have situations of both higher income earners, the billionaires that's in San Francisco and New York. They make housing go higher because they can be able to buy at higher premiums than anybody that's in the middle class.
Right.
Hell, people
Stop.
So Sean.
Hold on, stop. That's also part of America's international policy. The reason why I was trying to inject, right, in a diplomatic way, he asked for examples, plural. One person gave an example. He cut Sean off. Then other people tried to give examples to answer his question. Then he wants to cut them off. That's what I was trying to fight through. Now, the reason why I'm trying to explain so we don't dissolve into arguments, right? It's a part of America's international policy also. Why am I saying that, right? The largest population of Bosnians in America located in St. Louis, Missouri, which hosts an estimated 50,000 to over 60,000 Bosnian Americans. This community is considered the largest concentration of Bosnians outside of Bosnia in Herzegovina, with a significant presence in Bivo Mil neighborhood, often called Little Bosnia. Other cities with high concentration of Bosnians in the U.S. are Chicago, Atlanta, Georgia, Ithaca, New York, Arizona, Detroit, Michigan, Jacksonville, Florida, Salt Lake City, Utah. The community in St. primarily due to refugee resettlement during and after the Bosnian War, 1992, 1995. Same thing can be said about Minnesota and Somalia. Same fucking thing across America. It's a part of America's international policy, and it's called hyper selectivity.
Right. And to finish my point, that just leads to the same. God damn it, boy. Let me finish my point. Because what unmentioned was the same. Like I said, when it comes to what Un was saying, it's the same mention that I put on the table of when you have immigrant groups being prioritized, they get first dibs on the housing. You saw when it came to New York's hell, we don't even have to go about 4 years. We could go 20 years when Ronald Reagan opened up the borders and his senile demented ass in 81, 83, and 86 gave literally 2 to 3 million South American anti-black Hispanics to come across the motherfucking border and come across in the areas of both Miami, Florida. The Cubanitos, them sons of bitches was getting first priority on down payment assistance, housing, and
the Shake with the sound effects. Nice job, Shake.
When it came to loans with the SBA programs, like how do we not?
I get the feeling somebody's gonna say HBCU pretty soon.
When you give other groups the priority to do business.
Hello?
Any kind of predatory lending when it comes to zip code discrimination.
Zip code discrimination? I didn't know zip codes discriminate.
You can have a 720 FICO score and still get the
720.
That's why as a solution I present on the table is to have a business address in a sweet location that's in a well-to-do neighborhood. If you're in the Bronx, choose Manhattan. If you're in
get that right zip code, ladies and gentlemen, before you apply.
Overton.
Get you that right zip code. Your social security number and the amount of money you have is not as important as your zip code. Because zip codes are racist. Hello?
Areas that you black, you keep driving up.
Hello?
You got nothing but anti-black Hispanics looking at you crazy.
Shit.
And this is your neighborhood.
Shit.
You don't have the right to be able to shit on me. When, motherfucker, if it wasn't for the plight, you wouldn't even be here.
Shit.
Like I said, man, you don't have to agree on it. You can say I'm wrong, Brother Finley. I get it. I guess black people are trained to not see how immigration has affected the damn Negro for the past 150 years since the damn Irish mix and the Italian fucking coolies is literally getting all the access to being police officers like you are, getting access to being firefighters and all these people that are getting involved in business. I don't see how we see that, and it's crazy how most people would actually agree that immigration was a problem if white liberal told you it was. But now the white liberal, he got to be able to win elections, so he'll flood the gates again. With Gavin Newsom, if he gets his president, he'll flood his own probably 25 million more motherfuckers.
Fuck.
And black people be ready to vote for him. saying, well, at least he ain't Trump, at least he ain't no Republican, we need some fresh blood up in there. Okay, cool. If you can't run California, what makes you think you can run the damn nation? And I'm not even saying to go Republican. Go fucking independent for a goddamn change.
Oh shit!
Like I said, man, I don't see how we can be able to see that. And I'm done.
My point of contention is this housing argument. And I totally disagree with immigrants are the problem. They're not the problem. This is what we've been told is a problem. Because oligarchs coordinate the message, and so
hell,
they're the ones that are
immigration. They can hire them cheap.
So, yeah, exactly. They are benefiting from illegal immigration, right? And they're also the ones benefiting from the fact that we have not passed anything comprehensive, like, I don't know, in about 100 years, right? But I want to push back this housing argument, right? Because all the policies that you talked about with respect to restrictive housing zoning issues in certain places like California, right? New York, right? Those existed pre-2007. When do we get a housing shortage issue? Post the housing crash of 2006. What happened was, because we had a ton of inventory during that time. What happened was, once the market crashed, construction ceased. A lot of people got out of that industry, and we've not been able to keep up since then. The reason that housing, right, because people aren't getting back into building houses. Nobody wants to go into the industry because it was so freaking volatile. Right, that is why we have a housing shortage, because all those policies that you name existed prior to that. Right, after the 2007 housing crash, rich people, right, investment banks, people like BlackRock, they started buying up inventory because it's not really a shortage. There isn't. There's some like 20 million that are unoccupied. I could be wrong about that number, but there's a huge number of houses.
6 million homes short.
There's a bunch of houses that are Google the number of houses that are unoccupied right now. There's no shortage. There's just people that are sitting on them, right? And we're not building houses because of the 2006 market. This was not created by immigrants. This is created by.
It's a combination of the two.
The immigrants have nothing to do with it.
They got nothing to do with it. Nothing. Nothing. They got nothing to do with it. Nothing.
That was a problem for that.
Hello?
Like that led to Black LA's population being diluted, sir. That led to LA's population being diluted.
Shit.
Prioritize those people over Black people. He literally got on record. And said,
I'll land my point here.
Go ahead.
Land my point here.
Go ahead.
Land it.
This is a false narrative, right? Because immigrants are the problem. They never were the problem. Right? Just like we're complaining about immigrants taking public housing and government for public assistance and jobs. Like, they're not taking
jobs.
Right?
They ain't taking jobs. They ain't taking housing. They just chilling. They ain't doing nothing.
Public assistance.
They ain't responsible for nothing.
Remember that?
Hello?
People were using all the food stamps and taking all the public housing and a burden on the government. And a burden on the government down. But no, we simply replaced them with the new argument that it's now the immigrants, because that's what we do. That's what the oligarchs.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Hello?
I can't even land my point.
I can't even land it because I ain't got no fucking point. Hello?
We've had this same argument since the freaking 20s.
Same argument since 100-year-old argument. It's 100-year-old.
Black people of all people are jumping on this dumb argument.
Hello?
It's a dumb argument. Immigrants are
for the most.
Immigrants aren't the problem. They're not stealing jobs.
Democrats are the problem. Hello?
They're not.
Dude, that is way bigger argument than food. We're talking about trucking, we're talking about housing, we're talking about nursing.
If I can just give one opportunity to complete.
We're talking about nursing. Dude, second point, dude.
I yielded. I let you finish your point.
Finish your point.
Right? I didn't move into your way. I didn't interrupt you. I moved out of the way.
Shit.
I let you finish your way. I'm just trying to finish my thought.
Y'all stop interrupting the man finish.
You need to finish now.
Mr. Finley,
I'm not done. I'm not done. My point.
You have 60 seconds to finish.
Talking about why black people, because black people getting pushed out because of these fucking shit.
I'm just trying to land my point. I'm not trying to be long-winded, but when they interrupt,
I swear, white liberals,
I lose my train of thought.
Please.
Shit.
That man.
Can you hear me or no?
Hello?
I get longer.
Perfect, and thank you. You have 60 seconds to land your point. If you guys could just allow people to finish, it would stop so much of the back and forth. Appreciate it.
Hello?
Thank you. The net of what I'm saying is this new argument that it is the immigrants, it is a lie. They're not the problem. They're not stealing jobs, right? They're not stealing housing.
Hello?
Right? And blacks, we shouldn't even be looking at public housing. Right? We should be looking bigger than that. But the big problem is freaking the billionaires that have created this problem. The reason they didn't want to solve it because yes, they benefit. They benefit from the cheap labor, just like when they shipped good union jobs to Mexico for cheaper labor. They didn't want the price of anything. You just created a whole new working class that they can exploit. And they're going to continue to do it. And then we're going to continue to point the finger at the wrong people.
Also done by NAFTA. Like I said, most of the problems that we keep on talking about always lined up either from a liberal or a globalist that have fucked the problem off. Where motherfucking
motherfucker
that literally accelerated and destroyed the damn black community. Manufacturing and warehousing is done by black men. Like, dude, and illegal immigrants, these motherfuckers got illegals in fucking both medical facilities where these are black men and black women that's getting displaced because the staffing agencies hiring nothing but Filipinos that's cheap labor and taking away jobs for black people in the Bay Area. Like, I hate when we use the damn fruit picking argument, and that's how I know that we listen to Jasmine Crockett and white liberals again, where once again we being conned out of it again, where now we're assisting with people that will take
Jasmine Crockett is a racist atheist.
For all my smart tech brothers.
This
is in the healthcare sector where they say,
come on, brothers.
Maria don't fucking speak no English, fake credentials, got her shit from the damn downtown somewhere. And literally, they're casting a blind eye. They had a black woman work for the DMV, said that her job, that literally said out of her mouth, and she was a whistleblower that actually came out public with it, where her job was just to give people IDs, identifications, driver's license, $200 a pop. So just imagine when you have a segment of an industry based off of undercutting. I don't see how possibly black people can compete unless they have the abilities of getting their own business funding, business credit, their family-owned real estate, or they get access to real estate where they can at least sub-jump that. But most black people are in the W-2 wage, and that's where Brother Un keeps saying we need to get out of the wages aspect and get on the investor-owner aspect. That's only how we can combat our stupid-ass policies that we keep going for. Like, if anything, we add another 20 million people. Mr. Finley, I would just ask this question. How many motherfucking illegals and immigrants that we got placed in the country for you to understand that Americans are being affected? 100 million? 200 million? Matter of fact, let's let 1 billion people in the damn country and see how much affected.
Yeah, Mr. Finley, you dumbass motherfucker.
Can I be quick?
Dumb. You fucking dummy. You stupid ass motherfucker.
Okay, I'm going to be fast. Who destroyed the black community? Or what destroyed who or what destroyed
the black community destroyed the black community.
The people that created these families not given a reason to